Imagine a wandering traveler from beyond our star, turning fire jets of plasma the moment it nears our sun, and vanishing like a ghost at the edge of our view. That's what's happening with 3I Atlas, the third interstellar visitor we've seen, erupting in ways we didn't expect while its predecessor quietly slipped from sight. We feel something shifting, not just in the sky, but inside. Maybe it's our curiosity, our sense that we're part of something much larger. Let's lean in together, gently, and see what light this visitor is holding up. When ancient ice meets solar fire, the story of 3I Atlas begins with something old. Ice and rock formed in a distant star system, drifting for eons, and then it meets our sun, a furnace of light, heat, and transformation. I see the visitor as a traveler between worlds, carrying memory in its nucleus and forgetting as it warms. As the sun's light touches those ancient ices, the ice wakes, gases release, and what was silent becomes loud. There's a quiet ache in that process, like hearing an old song you almost remember but can't hum. And for us, looking up, that ache becomes awe. The outgassing streams, the jets, the dust, all are part of that meeting. Material that lingered for billions of years is answered by a star that demands response. We get to witness that conversation. In that exchange, the visitor writes itself into our solar neighborhood. Also worth noting, the temperatures and energies are staggering. The sun delivers heat that can melt or vaporize materials that thought themselves safe. Yet 3I Atlas doesn't collapse. It endures, even thrives. That survival story feels deeper than any number. We think of comets as cold wanderers. This one felt more like a wake-up call, something old, still capable, answering a new host star. The contrast between ancient rest and sudden action opens our hearts. And the human part? We lean back in chairs, cups nearby, scopes ready, and we feel the warmth, not just from the sun, but from recognition. We are watching something alive. The ice meets the fire, and we meet the consequence, with respect. The sudden jet that broke our calm. There comes a moment when things change fast. 3I Atlas, which had been drifting quietly, began to erupt jets of plasma, streams of gas and dust propelled by the sun's heat. Something inside shifted, and the sky around us changed too. We were watching a dot. Then we were watching a performance. The comet didn't wait for us to catch up. The jets broke the calm, cracked the silence of a routine observation. And all at once, our casual glance became a full attention. The acceleration of 3I Atlas isn't purely gravitational. It's being pushed by its own outgassing. That adds a human sense of surprise. We think of objects as passive, but here the visitor asserts action. That shift in role, passive to active, is a little unsettling, but also deeply moving. Those jets tell a story about what's inside: weak crusts, volatile ices, internal structure ready to burst. The material does not lie still. The sun compels it, the traveler responds. Again, the feeling is ancient and new. Observationally, this outbreak happened near perihelion, right when the comet was most vulnerable to our star's heat. The timing makes it feel planned, though of course it wasn't. We humans sense narrative everywhere. The comet obeys physics, we interpret meaning. What I love is how this breaks our calm mirrors, how our everyday lives can shift. One moment, everything seems routine. Then something wakes inside you and a jet of change erupts. We watch the sky and remember ourselves. And in that watching, we commit ourselves. To attention, to wonder. The moment you thought was safe, suddenly moved. We moved with it. Plasma streams. Writing across space. The streams of plasma that erupted from 3I Atlas look like writing across the dark fabric of space. Lines drawn by dust, by ionized gases, by sunlight catching motion. It's more than an astrophysical note. It's a story. And stories are how we humans live. The comet writes in light and we read in wonder. And in reading we recognize part of ourselves. Scribblers in our own notebooks, marking time, marking change. Those plasma streams show direction, they show force, they show history. When a jet forms, it curves, it interacts with the solar wind, leaves shaped trails that later observers will trace. Every curve is a question. What triggered this? What lies beneath the surface? The dust, the gases, they are not random. They carry the imprint of the visitor's past and our star's influence, and we feel both small and connected. Think of that line stretching thousands of miles, untangling itself in space. The stream is impermanent yet visible. We see what was hidden. We feel, through instrumentation and intuition, that something moved, that something wrote its passage. The light caught by our instruments gives us numbers, speeds, densities, wavelengths. But behind the numbers is the human moment. A researcher looking at an image at midnight and whispering, "Look at that curve." A backyard astronomer pausing their tea to track the jet. We share the waiting, the moment of seeing, the chill in the spine when something shifts. That is as real as the equations. And then I imagine the future. A scientist will catalog these jets, compare them with other comets, ask how this object from another star system behaves differently. We may discover it is more active, or less stable, or strange in ways we didn't expect. The plasma streams are messengers from far away. We unfurl the message. These streams riding across space give us more than data. They give us context. How rare this is, how fleeting, how meaningful, and we won't forget that ink. Cliffhanger. Ahead in this video, we'll open what the early spectra hint at, whether certain ices sang louder than dust, why some images talk about anti-tail geometry pointing toward the sun, and how that quiet Mars flyby sharpened our sense of the nucleus itself. We'll also weigh the flashy claims you've heard about color changes, about non-gravitational acceleration, against the slower, sturdier measurements, and let the numbers choose their friends. Most of all, we'll look at the human part, how meeting an older traveler can make even a crowded city feel like a small porch with a clear horizon. Stay with me as we turn that porch light up. V1 Borisov's quiet exit echoes here. While 3I Atlas is in full motion, its predecessor, the interstellar comet V1 Borisov, has gone from our view, slipped back into the void after making its own rare visit. That quiet exit echoes in our minds. It reminds us that these visits are transient, that cosmic guests depart, and that meaning might be carried away if we're not paying attention. In that echo, we feel urgency, yes, but also gratitude, because we are witnessing something not meant to stay. Borisov's journey was bold, yet gentle. It didn't erupt wildly, didn't become a headline machine. It drifted in, showed us its tail, slipped away. And now 3I Atlas is doing something different, louder, brighter, more active, and the contrast matters. The quiet exit of Borisov sets the pace. Welcome, learn, thank, let go. When I think of that, I feel a soft melancholy, but also a renewed sense of focus. Our telescopes prepared differently this time. Because Borisov showed up and left, we are less surprised, more alert. The echo of its departure pushes us to speak in better detail, to record more carefully, to ask better questions. Perhaps that's why this visitation matters beyond the physical. It shapes how we as observers behave. We become more thoughtful. And we feel both the weight and the gift of this moment. The weight that we may not get another visitor like this for decades or centuries. The gift, we are here now to see it. A comet from another star system riding in plasma, and we responding with wonder, not fear. The echo of Borisov says, treat this gently. I imagine a still room after Borisov left, scopes wrapped, lights dimmed, the night sky quiet. Then someone opens a window, points a scope at 3I Atlas and says, here's another one. The echo continues, but the story renews. The exit created space. The arrival filled it. We listen. The universe whispered, "Look up." There are many moments in life when the world nudges us. A bird crossing our path, a song remembering a lost friend, the sky showing color we didn't expect. With 3-Eye Atlas, the universe whispered, "Look up." That whisper was the brightening, the jets, the color shift. It was subtle until it wasn't, and then the whisper turned into a gentle command. We looked. When the comet showed blue hue, when the tail seemed to vanish or reverse, when jets erupted, we heard the underlying message, "You are part of this work of seeing. You are not just a passenger." It's as though the visitor said, "I came, you saw, now we share a moment." We often need permission to dream. This moment gave it. Looking up is more than pointing a telescope. It's opening a part of ourselves. We slowed our lives for it. We canceled distractions or silenced alerts. We allowed ourselves to stare at a dot turning dramatic, to wonder what its origin might be, to imagine what it will become. The sky whispered, and our living room became a star deck. In that urge to look up, I remembered that even the smallest night vision can carry us far. A pair of binoculars, a small telescope, a moment without moving. And the visitor rewarded that stillness with motion. The universe doesn't owe us spectacles, but it sometimes gives us ones if we show up. We did. So yes, the universe whispered, and we leaned in. That leaning made all the difference. And later, maybe 3-Eye Atlas will drift away. But now we know the sound of that whisper better, and we'll listen for it elsewhere. Hidden tail, revealed secret motions. For a while, 3-Eye Atlas appeared to lack a clear tail, at least in certain images, and that made some observers pause. Then more careful frames, more angles, revealed secret motions. A tail curved backward, an anti-tail pointing toward the sun, jets outflowing. What looked simple became layered, complex, hidden in plain sight. That layering feels familiar. Life seems clear until you zoom in and find the hidden. We love tails because they are visible signs of change. The dust and gas shaken out by the sun's heat. When a tail hides or shifts shape, it signals something deeper. In this case, the tail geometry changed. The visitor's orientation, spin, and outgassing direction all played a part. The secret motion gives us a puzzle, and puzzles invite us to stay engaged. The anti-tail is especially curious. Dust trailing the object but appearing to lead. It happens when perspective and motion align in unusual ways. It reminds us that not everything is as it seems at first glance. The secret motion said, "Don't assume, check, compare, revisit." Our assumptions about interstellar visitors are being revised. There's a human side too. We spot the obvious and call it final. Then nature shows us the subtle and laughs gently. This visitor taught us humility. That hidden tail reminds me of the quiet parts of ourselves we don't show until the light falls differently. The Comet live broadcasts that feeling. We saw images, we recalculated geometry, we leaned again. The reward, motion we didn't expect, orientation we didn't guess. The sky gives surprises when we stop expecting safe patterns. And the secret motion remains, hidden, revealed, remembered. Dust, gas, and a lost name. When we talk about comets, we talk about dust and gas, materials old and fragile, drifting from a core that might be rock, might be ice, might be both. 3-Eye Atlas is shedding both. Yet there's also a lost name in this story. The star system it came from, the place that flung it out, the childhood it never gets to speak of. That absence fills us with curiosity and longing. The dust tells one story, ancient surfaces, dark crust, radiation exposure. The gas tells another, CO2-rich outgassing, maybe more than water ice, odd for a regular comet. Studies found a CO2-H2O ratio unusually high, which suggests this visitor is different even among comets. The lost name lies in that difference. We don't know its home, but its behavior betrays it. traveled from somewhere unusual. We watch as the dusty veil lifts and gas escapes, and feel the weight of relics in motion. The dust is old, the gas is younger still. The lost name lingers in the pattern of jets, in the tail's bend, in the color shift previously reported. The story spins. We are seeing not just a visitor, but a messenger. That messenger has its secrets. We will maybe never know its birth star, but the materials it carries, the way it reacts now, it tells us of origins, conditions, radiation, time, and by telling us, it invites us to imagine. What place cast it out? What story did we miss? I feel a gentle sadness in that unknown, yet also a gentle hope. The lost name means we're part of the story now. We may be the ones remembering. Dust, gas, and a lost name. Together they make more than a science problem. They make a reflection room, quiet, honest, wide. What the sun forced us to see. When 3I Atlas approached perihelion, when it neared the sun, the solar furnace forced things to show. Hidden ices, embedded dust, internal structure, change. We could see that maybe nothing stays dormant forever. The sun didn't break the object. Rather, it revealed what it already was, and what it could become in the glare. To look at the sun near something like this is to accept discomfort. Heat, glare, difficult angles. But worth it. Observations reported that the object brightened rapidly, turned bluer than expected, and showed signs of outgassing far stronger than typical comets at that distance. The sun forced the visitor's hand. It forced us to gather more data, check more filters, debate more carefully. The confrontation with solar power is a confrontation with truth. What hides when things are cool shows when things heat up. I imagine standing beside a furnace, inspecting a rock that begins to hiss. That's how scientists felt. The sun's light was not just illuminating the object, it was activating it. And what came out was more than dust. It was motion, shape change, color alteration. The sun forced us to see the visitor as alive to the system's forces, not merely drifting. On the human side, watching something disassemble or rearrange in real time changes the feel of the day. You stop expecting stillness, you plan for movement, you hold your breath a little longer, and you feel your own parts shift. Eyes sharpen, mind relaxes into wonder, heart steadies in the face of spectacle. The furnace and the wanderer met, and we got to attend. That meeting made the night longer, the sky more generous. The sun did us a favor. It forced us to look deeper, ask better, notice the parts we often miss. We made space for that. Imagine a wandering traveler from beyond our star, turning fire jets of plasma the moment it nears our sun, and vanishing like a ghost at the edge of our view. One visitor's end, another's beginning. As I said earlier, Borisov faded quietly. 3I Atlas is arriving dramatically. That contrast feels like closing one book and cracking open another. Not the same genre, not the same voice, but equally compelling. We live in the chapter where the new visitor begins. The previous one taught us how to watch. We carry the lessons forward. For Borisov, the mission was simpler. Observe, measure, confirm. For 3I Atlas, the mission is richer. Challenge assumptions, discover oddities, ask bigger questions. The end of one visitor makes room for a beginning that is more ambitious. And the shift in our mindset is subtle but real. We expect the unexpected. We are better prepared. In our stories, endings often bring closure. But in science, they make opening. The exit of one guest means the arrival of the next. We open the window, we dust the tools, we sit up a bit straighter. The universe slides a new card into the deck. We shuffle. And in this beginning, we carry hope and caution together. Hope, we might learn more than before. Caution, nature rarely gives final answers quickly. We lean, we wait, we record. The visitor is beginning. We are ready. It feels like being in a hallway between two rooms. The first nice, the second unknown, door open. we step forward. The end was quiet. The beginning could be loud. We listen for both. A silent comet, now deafening in light. 3I Atlas might have begun its journey quiet, small glow, steady path, but the eruption of jets, the color shift, the acceleration, they turned its whisper into a roar in astronomical terms. What was silent became loud, not with noise but with visible motion and surprises. That change is what catches us, the transition from watchman to active performer. Some comets fade in after perihelion. This one brightened. Some stay dusty. This one turned strongly blue and showed strong gas output. Some comets follow routine. The jets here were abrupt, directed, dynamic. We feel that increase in amplitude, not just in data, but in our own internal tempo. Heartbeat quickens, questions deepen, the room lights up a little more. And yet, deafening here does not mean overwhelming. It means vivid. The kind of vividness you feel when a soft old record suddenly bursts into stereo surround. You remember how quiet it was before, and that contrast is richer than the spectacle itself. We remember who we were when it was quiet. Then we watch who we are now. The light that once barely registered now dominates frames, charts, discussions. It demands that we pause, that we record, that we update our maps. In that dominance is humility. We weren't expecting it so soon, so strong, so different. The silent visitor became loud without losing its dignity. It just let the light speak. This shift from silent to loud reminds us that change doesn't always start with sound. It often starts with the quiet sigh before the shout. We heard that sigh, and we leaned in. And in that leaning, we discovered our capacity to witness loudness without losing calm. From distant star to our dawn. 3I Atlas came from another star system, beyond ours. That fact alone should hush us a little and widen our breathing. Its journey across space, into our dawn, is remarkable. Dawn here meaning not just morning light, but the moment we realized. We are watching something from far away, linking up with something that traveled millions of miles, millions of years. The perspective humbles. In that link, we feel small and significant at the same time. We are ordinary people on Earth, but we turned our eyes and instruments to a visitor from beyond. We aren't just looking outward. We're part of the cosmic conversation. The comet's arrival at our dawn is symbolic. Another system's story touches ours, and we feel that touch. The path it took involved perihelion near the sun, hidden moments behind our star, then re-emergence, each step painting a scene of arrival. We witnessed its dance between heat and escape, between stillness and motion. That dance brings us into its rhythm. We are participants now, not just observers. Think of the morning breeze on a quiet porch, the first bird call, the sky changing from dark to light. Now imagine at that same time, a comet from another star system sweeping into view. The feeling shifts. Our dawn becomes both intimate and infinite. And so the distant star meets our dawn, and we learn the distance for our seeing is both far and close. In that twilight meeting, we carry two stories, of where it came from and where we find ourselves. The breath of a cold, old world. Behind the bright jets and the eruption is something ancient, a world formed in cold, far from a warm star, drifting for epochs. That breath of cold still carries inside 3I Atlas. When it approached the sun, that ancient breath began to warm, expand, become visible. We are watching the breath of a cold, old world, exhaling into our solar system. That breath made itself known in the outgassing, in the color shift, in the acceleration. The compositional studies show this object has unusual ratios of volatile ices, which suggest it came from environments different than typical comets here. The breath is foreign and familiar, unsettling and comforting. The idea that something so cold and ancient can still respond to warmth reminds me of human hearts. We chill, we forget, we freeze for a time, and then the right impulse makes us bloom again. The comet and our humanity share this rhythm. The breath of a cold old world becomes a message to warm. And in observing that breath, we shift our own internal cooling. We widen our perspective, ask better questions, open our hearts to the unknown, because the old world isn't dead. It simply waits for a moment of light. Here it found one. We tracked that breath across millions of miles, through darkness, toward a star. We belong to its witness. The cold old world sighed. We listened. When one story fades, another blooms. The chapter of 2. Borisov faded, our story with 3 Atlas blooms. That transition feels like the end of a garden in autumn and the first shoots of spring in another place. We are gardeners of our attention. We prune, we plant, we wait. This moment is our planting. The visitor blooms under our gaze. Watching one visitor fade taught us patience. Watching another bloom teaches us readiness. We watched something leave. Now we watch something emerge. That emerging feels richer because we carried the past moment in our memory. We carry those lessons. Don't assume, document carefully, honor the visitor. The bloom owes us nothing, but still, we show up. A bloom doesn't shout its presence. It opens slowly, petal by petal. The jets, the color shift, the acceleration, they are petals in time. They ask for witness, and we respond. The world around us holds its breath for a moment, then it exhales in recognition. The bloom may fade in its own time. That doesn't make it less beautiful, it makes it more real. We accept impermanence because we have seen it before. We know how to hold the moment without clutching. This visitor blooms, we hold space, and in that holding, new stories open. We are not just watching, we are tending. Jets of plasma, hearts of wonder. It's easy to talk about jets, streams of plasma, gas, dust, but what matters more is the heart behind the watching. When the jets appear, so too does our wonder. Our hearts respond. Look there. Unexpected, strange, beautiful. We feel the crackle in our chest. The comet may be millions of miles away. The wonder is right here. Those jets are not just physical, they are emotional. They ask, do you care to look deeply? They ask, are you still curious? They ask, will you allow something ancient to surprise you? Our hearts open a fraction. We pause. The sky becomes less about destination and more about connection. We identify with the jets in our own lives, moments when we move quickly, when something inside us bursts forth. The comet's plasma becomes a mirror. Our heart's wonder becomes real again. We forget the rush of day. We slow down. The jets widen our soul. And here's the catch. Wonder doesn't demand you shout it. It only asks you to whisper it. We whisper, I see you. The comet replies with light. The result is a shared pulse, plasma and human heart. When you look at a jet against the black of space, you feel how thin the boundary is between chaos and order, eruption and calm. We watched the jets of plasma, and we found hearts of wonder. An exit without goodbye, a signal instead. Some guests leave quietly. They don't wave, don't promise to return. They just fade. Our visitor may eventually depart without a classic farewell, but what it leaves is a signal. A shift in light, a color change, jets, motion. That signal matters more than the farewell. We hold the signal. In cosmic terms, 3I Atlas may simply continue past our sun and into the dark again. Yet the exit is not empty. The exit carries the memory of eruption. The signal remains in our data, our images, our renewed curiosity. We don't need a wave, we need recognition. The visitor may not look back, but we will remember. That's true in human life too. Some goodbyes don't have mirrors. Some endings don't give us closure. The message is the important part. We collect meaning. We let the signal be our thanks. The exit without goodbye can become a quiet blessing. The solar system may forget the visitor in other terms, but for us, the signal lingers. In our skies, in our question lists, in our night watch routines, the imprint stays. We carry it. A departure that asks no applause still earns a nod. We saw it leave. We heard its signal. We saw it. We changed. By now, we've given our attention, our instruments, our nights, our thoughts. The act of watching 3I Atlas changed us. Not just the science teams, not just the astronauts, but us. We leaned back in our chairs. We let the sky rewrite a line in our script. Change is subtle. A shift in perspective, a soft humility, a wider curiosity. Watching a visitor from another star system erupt jets of plasma while our own horizon remains familiar, it reminds us of scale and of closeness simultaneously. We feel small enough to be held by the universe, big enough to understand a tiny part of its library. That dual feeling marks change. You don't always notice it at first, but later you feel it. We learned new rhythms, patience, deeper questions, cross-discipline collaboration, humility in measurement, openness in imagination, and we learned something personal, that wonder still works, even when older, even when tired. The comet brought us back to our own original fascination with the stars. Change isn't loud here. It's a lifelong tilt of the head, a longer look at the night sky, a renewed why in the soul. The visitor invited us to change. We accepted, and something inside shifted quietly. The sky held its gaze. We held ours. We saw, and we became different by virtue of seeing. Morning's light remembers our look. The dawn after a night of star watching feels tender. The first light rises and knows that we stayed up too late, that we leaned on a rail, that we pointed and wondered. It doesn't scold, it remembers. The light remembers our stillness. The visitor will recede, the jets will calm, the tail fade, but our look remains. The morning light holds our vigil. We fold the blanket and step back inside, but part of our imagination remains on the porch with the sky. When the first light fades into everyday hours, we carry the visitor's imprint in our thinking. We become people who know what the universe wrote in plasma and light. We may return to routine, but we carry a different lens. Perhaps at supper, we glance at the sky differently. Perhaps someone asks, "Do you think we'll see another one?" And the question holds more weight. Because we watched once, we were changed. The dawn doesn't forget, and neither do we. The sky keeps its promises. For nights on end, people watched 3I Atlas and whispered to themselves that the sky always keeps its promises. Maybe not in the way we expect, but it delivers. The promise here was discovery, a chance to feel wonder without fear, and that promise was met. We looked for data and found a story. We searched for distance and found belonging. That's how the sky works. It trades expectations for connection. Each flare and jet felt like an answer to a silent wish. Somewhere between those eruptions, the night spoke back. Even our doubts about whether we'd see anything special were softened by the quiet glow that said, "You showed up. That's enough." The promise wasn't grandeur, it was presence. This is how astronomy humbles, not through intimidation, but through reciprocity. You give it time, it gives you truth. And when the truth glows in plasma and light, it doesn't overwhelm, it steadies you. The sky isn't random noise, it's consistent rhythm, a partner that keeps its end of the bargain as long as we keep looking. There's comfort in that regularity. It reminds us that amid chaos, cosmic or personal, some forces remain faithful. The sun rises, comets arc, shadows shorten, then return. You realize that not everything dependable has to be predictable. Some dependability is made of surprise. So yes, the sky kept its promise, not through perfection, but through presence. It offered just enough light to remind us we're part of something enduring, and that, in its quiet way, was everything we needed. Between silence and revelation, every observation of 3I Atlas sits somewhere between silence and revelation. Too much noise and you miss the subtle glow. Too much silence and you might call it nothing. The sweet spot is patience, the space between. That's where meaning lives. In that balance, we found truth layered like thin ice sheets, a quiet background hum, then a sudden shift, a jet, a color change, a clue. The revelation never came as a shout. It unfolded softly, like fog lifting from a lake. And in that slow unveiling, we rediscovered the virtue of waiting. Silence is the astronomer's friend. It's what allows signal to appear. Without stillness, there's only static.